Hey guys, another day of lessons, so great. It looks like we got pretty high turnout on the last one. I think I had like 65 students log in, so God, that made me super proud. So thank you guys for taking this seriously and checking in with what's going on in math, and as we review everything we've gone over throughout the year to get caught back up. I will be reposting all the expired links. However, I'm waiting to hear back exactly what I can and can't do in terms of putting stuff in the grade book. I think I can put in any makeup that you've done up to this point, but just understand there's a lot of questions that are still being answered, so just be patient with me as I jump in and figure all this out. But yeah, I'm fine with people wanting to get makeup work done, so by, we'll say Thursday, I should have an answer. So on Thursday morning after I do my block, I'll have a list of all the makeup assignments, and then I'll just start posting those every single day all the way through this. So yesterday we talked about translating points, and that was our shifts. Okay, so when we talk about our shifts, we're talking about our horizontal, which is our x-axis moves, and we're talking about our vertical, which is our y-axis moves. Well, towards the end of that unit, when it comes back to translations, one thing that was really prevalent that we used with it was that Pythagorean theorem. Okay, and again, the Pythagorean theorem that we're talking about, that would be our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, and that was a distance formula thought up by this guy named Pythagorean way back when in the Greek times, and he was a genius mathematician. Has a really strange history. If you want to have some fun, go down a rabbit hole, just Google Pythagorean or the cult of Pythagorean, and it's hilarious, all the weird math stuff that this guy was like a super math drama guy. So, but it's super fascinating, but it's outside, it's a little beyond the scope of what we're doing. So as we're doing today, let's just take a look at this example problem and just kind of walk through how we'd find the distance, because it's one thing to be able to show something moving, but it really helps if we can understand the distance that something is moved. That's really where the pay dirt hats, because nobody's, it's easy to tell something moved. Like if I'm standing here and somebody beamed me downtown to the movie theater, AMC down there, in the grand scheme of things, I traveled in a straight line to get there. So does it really matter if I know that I went 12 miles to the left and 3 miles down south, or 12 miles east and 3 miles west? No, you want to know what that diagonal distance is so I can trace that straight line. So in this case, let's just take a look at this example, and let's say I'm going to move point A, which is at -2, 3, by the rule x plus 3, y plus 4. Now yesterday the first thing I would do is understand my directions, so when I see x plus 3, I see that plus 3 with my x, and that means I'm moving to the right 3, because that's my horizontal movement. When I see that y plus 4, that tells me I'm moving vertically 4 units up, because up is my positive direction. So I'm going 3 units to the right and 4 units up. That's what that rule is saying. Or you can just think of it as x plus 3, y plus 4. Whatever your brain makes those connections, that's fine. I read it and I say 3 to the right and 4 up, because that tells me movement, and my mind tends to work better in movement than it does in equations. But whatever works best for you, have at it. I encourage you to. But then it asks us, how far did it move? So I'm not just looking at how I moved this one, I want to know how far it moved. So to do that, the first thing I need to do is graph my point now that I know how it's moving. So I'm going to go to -2, 3. That's going to be my point A, and I'm going to write it in -2, 3. Right there, just so I can see how far everything actually moved. Okay, my next thing then is to be applying that rule. So I'm going to go 3 to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 units to the right. That's plus 3. And then I'm going to go 4 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to extend my graph just to get up there a little bit more. And that's where I'm going to be, right? That's going to be my point A prime. And it is it's going to be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 7. Okay? And if I want to check my work, I go -3 plus, or -2 plus 3 is 1, and 3 plus 4 is 7. So yes, my work went right, so I'd be at coordinate, A prime would be at coordinate 1, 7. Now I did the move, but I want to know how far I go, and that's where I have to use the Pythagorean theorem. And remember, the Pythagorean theorem only works when a right triangle is formed, which just so happens is formed when I make that movement. Okay? Now, the next thing we need to remember from our Pythagorean unit, when we went over this during Unit 1, was that the hypotenuse is always the angle, which is the longest side of a right triangle, but it's always the line segment opposite of my right triangle. So it's going to be, this is going to be my hypotenuse. Okay? Now, A always represented the short side, but it doesn't really matter, so we're just going to put an A here. B always represents my medium side, so I'm going to put my B there. And my hypotenuse, or the longest side, is always represented by C. So now I have all the components in place. I just have to plug and finish this now. So here we had, if I'm going to rewrite my rule, I'm going to go A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And I'm just going to plug everything in that I know. My A value was that horizontal move. So it's going to be positive 3 squared. My B value was that vertical move. So that's going to be 4 squared. And I still don't know what C is because I haven't solved for it yet. But now I can solve for it because it's my only variable remaining. So from here, I'm going to go 3 times 3, because that's what 3 squared means. You're taking whatever number times itself twice. So 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 times 4 is 16, and that's going to equal C squared. Then I'm going to go 9 plus 16 is 25, and that equals C squared. Now here is where we got to the point where, how do I get rid of that exponent? Well, there's only one way to get rid of an exponent, and that is to take the root function of it. In this case, since I'm squaring it, I'm going to take my square root. That cancels that, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So I'm left over here with C is equal to whatever the square root of 25 is. In this case is 5. So how far did I move? I moved 5 units. Point to point. Okay? Now, I know that that's quite a bit that we're dealing with there. There's a lot going on, but that's really where those translations are. And since this is review, I figured I'd push you guys a little bit. So as you go through the rest of this lesson on Nearpod, okay, know that we're going to have a clear the board exercise. Okay, I'm going to have you doing the clearing the board with our squaring, so it'll be like 3 squared, and you'll have to go find the 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. So we're going to practice our squares a little bit, and I'll have some of these, like point A is 3, 4, and it's moved by this rule. What would point A prime be? There'll be like 4 of those problems on the clear the board. You should be able to clear your board, let's say, in under 25, just as because we're getting used to some new concepts, okay? There's going to be no real phase notes, so you're just going to have to report back to what we did here as like your baseline example, but I'll also post a couple other YouTube tutorials on how to solve using Pythagorean for you, right underneath my Nearpod code for you. And then there'll be a quizzes at the end of the thing. The quizzes will be about 25 questions, just like yesterday. It'll be about 12 to 15 questions on Pythagorean and translations, and then it'll be 12 to 15 questions on just random stuff. We'll probably do Marvel movie trivia today because I'm kind of in a superhero mood. So with that being said, again, thank you for checking in. I will be posting later in the day my next PSA. I'll be doing my shout outs to all the PSAs there. But again, thank you for everybody that's been emailing me back and forth. It's so nice to hear everybody. A couple of you that were concerned about my well-being. So like Day and Mariah, by the way, guys, everything's great. My family's super healthy. They're getting a little tired of being stuck in the house with me, which realistically, I guess that totally makes sense because I get tired of being stuck with myself. So, but thank you guys for checking in. Keep shooting those emails. Keep watching my videos. If you feel like commenting or emailing me with song requests, I got about 20 votes, I think, in on the should My Sharona be my next song. So tomorrow's song will be based off the song My Sharona for the PSA. However, I already had written one for today just in case it didn't work out, so I'm going to do that one today. So again, thank you guys. finish the rest of your lesson. I will be putting other challenges up. So like later today, by about 3 o'clock, I'm going to post a non-academic challenge for you, just something to kind of keep you guys doing. And if you want to show me your progress of that, you can upload it to like your social media, Twitter, TikTok, and I'll give you the directions on how to tag me on that so I can see you guys, see you back there and see what you're doing as you're practicing this thing. And I will be posting my progress on these non-academic challenges too, because I'm doing them with you. So with that being said, have a great day. Thank you for watching. Again, guys, email me back and forth, talk with me. Let's connect. Let's stay connected. Thank you.